One more question that I asked them. Merkley noted when they came in here yesterday. The blogs, help or hurt in terms of learning what's going on in politics.
Well, I think it's. Eventually, I think it's going to have an increasingly more powerful, helpful part of our process. I mean, it's still in its infancy right now. Sometimes I'll be curious to see what Kate and Vicki see. The ones that we all kind of watch on a regular basis. There's a lot of redundancy. They're campaign people and people under different pseudonyms. Having little spats that really don't enlighten anything. But that's going to work itself through as people start turning to certain ones that actually provide information. It's going to be an extremely important part of the education process. Part of the thing I think with bloggers right now is for them to understand their education. That they also have rights and responsibilities just because they're on a blog and not printing in a newspaper. In terms of the quality and the accuracy of their types of information. So it's an evolving state right now. It's going to have an increasingly important role. I think each month it's more important than the one before. And those that just become nothing but chat rooms, will go by the wayside, and the quality type of informational blogs are going to evolve and continue to get readership and participation.
You don't see it atomizing into sort of like echo chambers where everybody sort of naturally gravitates to places where they with people of like minds.
Well, no, but that goes back to what I just said. I think that a lot of them start that way, but after a while, when I think it becomes irrelevant to everybody else, and a blog can become irrelevant very, very quickly. You look at Blue Oregon. I think Kari started a great thing with Blue Oregon, but I think it's struggling right now because it's going to become advocacy for certain candidates, and now it's just become a forum for when Steve Novick says something, the Berkeley people say something. When Kate says something, or somebody else, people say something, and there's really no information. But they run the risk then of not being able to sell advertising. They run the risk of moving on to other blogs in which people are getting more hits.
Is Kari doing one of your campaigns?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you have to say.
I actually think the blogs are a good thing because I think it engages folks that would not otherwise be engaged, particularly young people, because it connects with them at a level that we have a hard time connecting with.
Are people dumb?
What?
Are young people dumb?
No, I think they're smarter than we are. I totally do, at least in my generation. It's the technology piece. It's having grown up with the technology. And for example, what I hear from young people about, how can we get you out to vote? They'll say, well, text message us. Think about it. It's the way they connect with each other. So, no, I think it's a good thing because it engages young people, engages a variety of folks that wouldn't otherwise be engaged. I think the issue is the accountability piece. So.
What do you think, Vicki?
Well, I agree on the accountability piece because one of the blogs recently said I'd only raised $23,000, so that became the mantra that ran around the state, and that's very untrue.
What was that? The Blue Oregon?
No, it was Politicker.
Politicker.
They don't get anything right. They got one thing right when they reported that Senator Brown had taken $500 from the Portland Hilton, but other things I've seen them write about have not been completely accurate, so I've been very concerned about some of the information. And there's no way to stop that flow of information. It goes and it just goes everywhere around the web. I think the blogs offer an opportunity for the people who used to go down to the local brew pub and sit down over a beer and talk politics. Now they do it late at night. But there are blogs that I like. I love BoJack. I love Jack Bogdansky's blog because Jack writes.
He loves you, I know.
It was really funny one year when I Google myself from time to time to find out what's out there, and it led me to his blog for the very first time, and I found out I was one of his top 10 people of the year. But I like him because he has suspicions about OHSU, which I do, and about their budget, and he brings things out for people to talk about. Sometimes I find that Blue Oregon just tends to be, like Rick said, about the candidates getting their information out there. And it's also a little bit difficult. I think Kari puts himself in that position by working for candidates and then also having a blog. And some things are not really relevant.
As much as we love your company, we've got other candidates. We appreciate you coming in. A reminder